Good day, everybody. This is the Hawk again. I want to talk about South Africa and its future. Africa is embarked on land reform that is destined to create a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions. It's heading for another Zimbabwe where food is scarce, money is not available, and people are starving. The Ramaphosa ANC government continues to push this agenda because it was promised and they cannot get out of it because the lie is now on them. The push to take farms and land away from minorities and force them to pay for them after they've been taken is a ridiculous argument and will not work. Banks will foreclose on these properties and then the land will be given back to the banks. And then will the government of South Africa then nationalize the banks and take their assets in lieu of land? The argument is ridiculous. It doesn't even make sense. Unless they pay for this land, the banks will foreclose on any loans that are out there on any farm or any property that the government takes. Therefore, the properties will land up in the hands of the banks, not the hands of the people that they so-called going to give to. So the argument and the idea and the logic is completely messed up. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't even relate. The medical system in South Africa is on a is a complete mess. It's almost to the collapse point. There's few private hospitals that are sustaining what is going on, but it costs ridiculous amounts of money to go to these hospitals to be treated properly. Government system hospitals are non-existent or do not work. Hospital beds are outside in the street without blankets, without pillows, without mattresses, and those that are in the hospitals, many of them don't have mattresses. People are seeing on steel beds. Given this coronavirus that's coming and there's been lots of affected people in South Africa already, I don't see them coping with this situation very well. With a porous border and no border control, you're looking at a humanitarian crisis. They won't be able to control what is happening. This weekend, there was a convoy of military vehicles that were moving gold. I'll put the picture up just now. At the end of the video, I will post it as the entry picture to this video. They were seen large amounts of military vehicles moving gold. Why are they moving the gold? What are they doing? Now I'm appealing to all COSATU, all trade unions in South Africa. The trade unions have never helped you. They've always robbed you. They've forced businesses out of business because they've asked for too much. How many businesses, when the unions came to your businesses, did they close after 1 year? And you moved to the next business and you forced that owner to give more and more and more till there was nothing left. And now they're about to take your pensions. 40% of your pensions, they're going to take your money. And do you believe that they're going to leave the rest there for you? No. You allowing them to steal your money. This is not about a white thing or a black thing. They're stealing your money. They always have. I predict your future for South Africa. In 10 years' time, you will be Zimbabwe. The rand dollar exchange will be massive. To believe you are now going to be classified as junk status, the entire country. Therefore, the rand will be worth nothing. The South African government is heading down a road that is erroneous, illogical, and not sustainable. They have approached Germany for help when help is right there on their doorstep. Why go to the Mlungus in Europe who colonialized them and ask them for help? Why go to Europe and ask for money from the same people who colonialized you? Like Britain, like Germany, like Holland. Makes no sense. You want Germany to come and help you revamp ESCOM? Then remove everybody that's running ESCOM right now. Rehire the engineers that were running it before when it was running properly. And don't waste your money on Germany or China or Russia. They're not there for you. They are there to steal the country. And the politicians that are there right now are hoping that some of that money that comes goes in their pockets. $9.4 billion goes to South Africa from the United States in foreign aid. Yet in the last couple of months, the South African government has supported Iran, is supplying Iran with diesel in violations of US sanctions. Is supplying Iran with weapons manufactured in South Africa. Has supplied Iran with 13 tons of gold when they were placed on sanctions. All of this can be found on the internet quite openly. In the last few days, Ramaphosa stated the United States needs to stay out of South Africa's business. Land reform must go forward to keep stability in South Africa. How ridiculous is that? AGOA agreement, and that is egregious mistake. All $9.4 billion of US aid is in peril now. We are going to ask for it to be removed. We want full-blown sanctions put on the South African government for human rights violations. No longer do you help anyone that is against the United States. The South African government is kowtowing to the enemies of the United States. Why should we help you? The central banks of the world are as corrupt as they get. They will not tolerate the fact that you will take land and not pay for it that has been lent by them. You won't last very long. It doesn't take a brain scientist to realize that the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the Rothschilds, the central banks of the world will control you. That you will starve, you will eat dirt, you will eat rats, and your own people will turn on you in the end. Land reform in South Africa is heading for a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions. Because once the food stops, the hordes that are crossing the borders now from Zimbabwe and Mozambique and other areas will turn north and head for Europe. They have no choice. They have to find food. Many of the African Central countries that are starting to stabilize. The ex-president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, Ace Mashula, and many, many others, because of the underhanded deals that they did, not only with many countries, but they did a lot of underhanded stuff with weapons to Pakistan and terrorist organizations around the world. Ramaphosa has deals in numerous African countries where he is personally. He made promises to the South African people that land would be handed out to them, but he cannot deliver on this promise. There was a constitution ratified in 94 where the minorities in South Africa, namely the whites and Indians and coloreds, were guaranteed their rights and property. The international law states you cannot violate this. The Geneva Convention states you cannot violate this. The AGOA Agreement states you cannot violate this. The Eli Wiesel law passed by the United States last year also states you cannot violate this. South African government, you're in violation of human rights laws. You're also in violation of international law. If there is a civil war, it will be a righteous war, and you have no rights to what happens. I feel sorry, South Africans, black and white, because this government's taking you to the end road. I predict your future. It's not a good one. To all the trade unions in South Africa, to all the members of the trade unions in South Africa, you think that they're taking the money from them Lungu's pen. They're taking it majority from you. They're lying to you. Who are the majority in South Africa? Do you think only 2 million people's money will come out? They're going to take it from 50 million people's money. 40% of that they will take. You need to see who your real enemy is. I don't agree with apartheid, and I don't agree with it now. But during apartheid, you lived better. You had at least stability. At least you had police. At least you didn't have crime every day, people killing each other for money, sometimes for 20 rand. It's sad to see what you're doing to yourselves. The ANC government scared. They cannot deliver. If you like my channel, please subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the bell for upcoming videos. I'd like to thank all the people that donated money I sent it off to Jason Bartlett, who's walking to the White House. He crossed the Mississippi River this week, and he's halfway there. Please support him. If you see him on the road, take him a drink, give him $1 or $2, help him on his way, support him. This message needs to get out. What is happening in South Africa is anti-American communism. They're trying to become a one-party state. They have threatened the United States in Venezuela. They threatened the United States in South Africa. They threatened the United States at the embassy by calling for one bullet, one American. I'm saying no more aid. Mr. President, this message is for you. In your State of the Union, if you are not with the United States, you're against the United States. If you kill one American, we will fix you. You now have a lady in South Africa who's the ambassador. Her name is Lena Marks, declaring that the ANC government has done nothing. She is aiding and abetting land reform, the violation of the AGOA agreement, the violation of international law, the violation of the Geneva Convention, and emboldening this government to further commit human rights violations. She has not condemned the 164 laws that discriminate against whites. She has not just condemned the extreme violence of farm murders, where they torture these people for hours and hours. She merely brushed it off when asked the question. Not the America I know. This is not the administration we know. We, the American people, believe that the President of the United States is God-fearing and will not tolerate these human rights violations. I'm calling on you, Mr. President, and Mr. Vice President, and Mr. Secretary Pompeo, to please do something about what is happening. The South African government needs to be put on notice that the $9.4 billion of aid will cease immediately. Also, that sanctions will be placed on that country if they do not stop this persecution of whites in South Africa. Stipulations must be put in place that people like Julius Malema, who threaten whites publicly, need to be arrested and put in jail for inciting murder. People like Ace Mashula, who incite the murder of whites. Andile Masatama, the same. The arrest of Zuma, Jacob Zuma, for corruption, for theft, murder, and rape. And if the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, is involved, he needs to be arrested as well. South Africa is on the verge of a humanitarian crisis of epic proportion. I'm going to say it over and over again. I predict this for you. There is no other path. You cannot keep putting money into a country that cannot be controlled. Crime is rampant. There is no control in the country. Corruption is rampant. Highest murder rate in the world as per the UN. Highest rape rate as per the UN. Nobody is going to invest in South Africa at this rate. Your future could be your future in South Africa could be very good. You have to get rid of the old school. Old school communism, socialism, and this rhetoric that color is the only way to control. It doesn't work anymore. This is the 21st century. The world has changed. The world has changed. To the people of South Africa, white, black, pink, and yellow, get off your feet. Get on your feet. It's say no more. Ask for a moderate, capitalist, free country that is controlled by police, non-corrupt politicians that build schools, roads, clinics, and uplifts their communities instead of putting the money in their pockets and driving Maseratis and Lamborghinis and stealing your money. Please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the like button. And please share. And please share. The world needs to know. This is the Hawk. I'm out of here.